All right, good morning, traders, and should be able to hear me and see my screen now. Morning, traders, and yeah, let's get started. Welcome to the live trading webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we do the live analysis Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 10 a.m. So I'm just back. Was away out of the office for a bit. And back in the saddle here this morning. So let's jump in and let's get started. Um, Good morning, Tom. Good morning, Doug. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Doug. All right, let's jump in here. Anyway, go through the week here. So Monday, Tuesday, Friday, 10 a.m. I need to add Tom on this list here. Live trading with J Trader, Stocks Trader on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Okay, he will be taking live positions, and then also same with Scott Pulsini, Futures Trader, at 10 a.m. So these are the advanced webinars. Tom B follows up directly after these webinars at 11:30 to about 1, and every weekday. So we have pretty nice offering here just with the live streaming. You add in the educational course, as well as some of this live trading here. You've got a very robust educational package. It's all free. Nice offering here. Well, let's just jump in and get going here. I need to read the disclosures first. Sorry about that. Okay, that is important. All right, so general disclosure, all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, guys, let's take a look here. I don't know if you read this earlier. I was in a meeting and it was just, I thought, plain as day here. Boy, I'll go through it here. This is just such a beautiful double bottom trade here. It's got all the pieces here. Once the buyers start to come back in up here, look out. There's all sorts of buying up here previously. One more move to the downside, and retest down into these lower areas here, just below 4,100. This is picture perfect. Here's 9:30 cash open. Look at all of that buying. Sellers bring it down. Buyers bring it right back up. Look for the buying to mount again. If they do, all of these guys are in profit, and we're going to get a nice move to the upside, and they just accumulate in here and continue to buy. Look at the order book flip in here from offer that did trade, but to bid over here, and look at the result. Buyers pushing underneath, looking for 41.20, and easily trades, and then it continues to ramp up here. You can see the data here. You can see the kind of shadow around the data release, and then the trend is continuing here. So pretty picture perfect stuff, and hope you guys captured some of that. This is classic order flow, and it was just, boy, without even a higher time frame analysis, I think this was just hitting us over the head. I was telling some of the guys in the meeting that you should buy. Anyway, not a trade recommendation, but let's see where this might be going here. There's higher liquidity up here at 41.45 and then 41.50, so it's a nice 50-point move basically if it can get up there. Let's just take a breather though and step back here, because what happened in the higher time frame over the last week or so, or a couple of weeks, and where we are in the bigger picture here. So here's the daily chart on the left hand side, just looking at a very basic candlestick chart from our Trader Pro. Here's the this big move to the downside that was back in what was that? Back in June, early June, June 9th or so. And then, everyone getting really fearful here. And then this it looks like a very likely move here that this back in here around the 19th of July, that we'd probably retest back up here, maybe spike above it, and then see if we could get sellers to come back in and bring it back down to the lows. Okay, here's what happened. They busted through that area, and you can see in the order flow, this is the same stuff we're covering in the lower time frame here. I'm going to show in the higher time frame. So if we just draw in a line here, okay, around 39.35, horizontal line. Okay, there we go. You can see how it busted through, came back, retested the top of it, and we found buyers. Okay, now we're back up here where it dropped from. So, to see some sellers start to come in here, or some buyers taking profits up into these areas here is likely. So we're up in a zone in here, looking at the daily chart, and we haven't tested back up into some of these wicks in here yet. Okay, so this is a very strong move on the daily, though, as you can see. Several days here, and also today, buying pressure coming in. Look at the wick here. I'd be looking for, or we'd be looking for, these wicks up here to be tested. Okay, this is where the sellers started to come in. So we'll see if we can get back up into maybe above the 4150 area that we're just eyeing here on the lower time frame. All right, so let's take a look here, and let me see if there's any. Good morning, Guido. All right, so I'm all caught up on questions, and let's take a look at the hourly chart. Okay, hourly chart is just very, very bullish. Okay, in fact, here's the move up, the pullback to that, where it kind of went sideways here, and then it's back up again. And the 15-minute chart here, or this is a 5-minute chart. Let's look at a 15. Okay, and we'll look at a week. Yeah, so here's the move back down into this area where we found some buying down here, and we found buyers yet again just below that 4100. Okay, so this was a great signal here. Take a look at this here. We'll just go through the details here, and then we'll get into the live analysis. So we have the move down. Okay, you can see higher liquidity getting filled here, not in these areas. Okay, and then also here, you can see higher liquidity getting filled down here. Okay, at the figure, the buyers break through the liquidity here at this kind of 41.03 or so, somewhere around there. Look at the buyers come in. Look at the flip of the order book here. So we'd be looking for it to trade back up into these areas here. Okay, again, on the bid here, on the bid here. Okay, yeah, you can even see here now they're starting to pull. Okay, we find a bit of selling pressure. Okay, revisit up here at the 9:30 cash open, a lot of buying up here. All right, so we're at a level, an important level, 4100. We see that there was some liquidity filled in here. That didn't give too much insight. There was some insight, but the strong bid is telling us something. Strong offer here as well, but look at the buying here. Now, this is going to be trap buying, and you're going to see a nice stop run to the downside below the figure here. However, if we get back up into this buying here and you find more buyers, this is a great signal, or look to the upside here and look for higher liquidity. Okay, where it dropped from, this they already pulled here. As you can see, this would be the next target, probably up here, and then the next target would be up here at 4120. And then look at them flip on the bid all the way through here, and there's a lot of green, a lot of buying. This is a very strong move. Right, so anyway, is there any questions on this? This is, there's so many different ways to look at this. Order flow wise, we just covered it. Okay, you can also look at your stops and icebergs. You know, not too many iceberg buying in here, but the stop run to the downside below this, and then once you get back up above those stops, okay, and you get buyers back up in here, we'd be looking for this to continue on up to the upside. And look at the stop run to the upside, pretty big. So let's see. What I wanted to also cover was divergence. Okay, and we'll look at CBD in here, and you're going to get just massive divergence in here, right? Because of this buying in here, right? So again, just be really simple with our analysis here on cumulative volume delta. Just be really straightforward here. Understand what the indicator is doing. Okay, selling coming in here. Yeah, okay, well, CBD is going to be dropping. We know that. And then we see quite a bit of buying in here. This is what boosts the CBD. Here's the divergence. So some selling, but not a whole lot of selling below the figure into high liquidity. And here's your just massive divergence. So what does that mean? Well, there's still buyers up here. So if we get back up here, we're looking for buyers. Okay, and we're looking for them. If we get them, we're looking for that to continue. All right, so let me know if there's any questions on that. This is really straightforward. JK, this is actually perfect for you. You say you're a beginner here. Understanding some of these concepts in divergence. Really, I don't want to hammer on divergence very much. It's really about the buying and selling. The divergence is not a, it's just a confluence in here that you want to look at. But you know, here it is, very simple and straightforward. Let me get a pen tool. I think that might be easier. All right. Yeah. So here's your divergent. Let me get a different color. Here's your divergence here. And not too much actually down here, but boy, do you get it here. Right? And it's because of this. And lower low, but a higher high in CBD. The CBD is such a simple tool, and it's only showing aggressor, right? So just, you know, understanding what the indicator is showing is kind of the key. If you don't understand what your indicator is calculating, then why are you using it? You shouldn't be using it, in my opinion. Anyway, that confluence works extremely well with the order flow in here, right? And the order flow we covered already a couple times, and we can do it again. We come back down into some of the liquidity in here, but they're on the bid. Extreme buying here at the open, and one move down below the figure, and then look at the bid again and look at the buying coming in, right? We'd just be looking and targeting higher liquidity here. All right, so now question is, where are we going to go now? All right, so we're kind of caught up here. Let's take a look, and let's get CBD off, and we can see we hit the 41.40 up here, and yeah, a lot of selling coming in. Now let's take a look at that selling. Buyers are still in control, so looking for this area here at 41.20 to test. Okay, looking for sellers to test into it right now. The offer is pretty strong here. You can see them pushing it here, and there's a lot of selling behind it. So this is again looking for this to test here, and then we'll see, right? How do they get filled in here? There they go. There it is. Okay. Well, they stayed in the order book. Okay, and they're on the bid yet again here. Okay. So let's see if we can get back up into maybe 23 or 25 here. Okay, we're finding some buyers. They're just looking for a pullback here, right? See them starting to pull at 23, so maybe we can get up to 25. Okay, it's a lot of selling. Strong move on the sell side here, but the bid is pretty strong here. We're in an uptrend, okay, and we're down at this level here, okay, and they're on the bid, right? So we're just looking for a pullback here. That's it right now, and we're looking for something higher probability, and that would be a move to 23 and to 25. Right, so let's take a look, and see how this unfolds here. Okay, they're on the bid up at a higher level here. That's good. Now we're just looking for buyers here up at 20, yeah, 22 and a half or so. All right, nope. Okay, they went one more time down here. Now, did these guys stay in the order book? Yes, they did. Okay, still looking for buyers in here. Okay, so it just retested down here, looking for buyers again. Let's see if we can get them. Okay, buyers especially above this area right here where it just dropped from, looking good. Now we should get a nice move back up into 25, maybe 26 as well here. Okay, strong buying, looking for the move to continue. Let's see, Nick. Would you be looking to buy at the break of 4107? Let's take a look. Well, we'd have to see when we get down here. This is a good area to buy. This is where the uptrend really, sprang out from, as you can see right here, on strong buying, and they're on the bid underneath. So this is a great area. You can even see them front running here at 4110. Right. So yeah, I mean, what we need to see, and the answer is, Nick, yes, it's a good level. We need to read the order flow when it gets there. That's really the key. All right, just like we're doing in here. Okay, we're looking for the move in here, for the move to the upside. Sellers came in one more time here, but they stayed in the order book at these levels here. And then again, we're looking for our buyers, right? And especially above this little kind of area in here. And we got that. Here are our buyers, and here's our move. So did we get to 26 already? Yeah, we're just trading 26 right now. Okay, looking for a bit of a pullback here now too at 26, because this is where the sellers came in, right? Not much, just looking for a pullback here. See if we can get it back down to about 24 and a half or so. There it is. All right, now let's see if buyers come back in and resume again. Okay, start to kind of put some structure on this as well. Okay, just looking for some sort of structure here and kind of meandering price levels here. Okay, so that's actually breaking, but it's down to where these buyers came in here. Okay, they traded into this high liquidity here, and we're above it. It's looking pretty back, starting to look kind of back and forth in here. I'd give still a little bit of a nod to the buyers in here compared to the sellers here. And they traded into this and through it with buying pressure. So still looking for buyers here, but it just not as easy and high probability as some of the other moves that we were just looking at. Okay, this move into 4120 was really easy, I thought. And then this looked pretty good in here, just did one more leg here, and then we finally got our move up into 26, 20, 23, 25, and 26. Okay, now it's kind of back and forth. Nick, you're talking about 940. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, I mean, like this to me, like it was really just hitting you over the head. I thought once you get back up into this kind of 07, 08 area here, and you see this buying coming in, I probably would have been in here, to be honest. And especially, I would especially be in here for sure, around 4107. I wouldn't. I'm not, I kind of, my style is, I know pullback traders, you guys would have been all over this, around this kind of 02 or 03 area here. It's a beautiful pullback to where these buyers came in, but this is really what I saw in the order flow here was this clump of buying at the open here. And if we can get buyers back in here again, right? So it looks like they're going to break out here. It did one more kind of big pullback here, and then it finally broke out here, retested the top of the range, and then continued. All right, you'll see these things again and again and again. This here, like, let's just take a look at this pattern in here. Okay, the buying coming in after the sellers make a lower low here, and then they break out from this area here, retest the top, and continue. That is no different than what we're looking at here in the daily chart. Okay, same patterns, and it's really truly the same in the order flow. Okay, there was more buyers, and they were able to break above, retest back, and then continuation. All right, hope that helps. JK, you're talking about where to place stop losses, etc. Yeah, I mean, this is not a trading room. Okay, we have JTrader and Scott Pulcini who will go through how they trade. It is in demo paper trading mode on Wednesdays and Thursdays. But yeah, we'll definitely cover where you can consider placing your stops and your take profits. No problem with that. As well as we can consider many different trading styles in here. Right? That's kind of the what these advanced webinars are for. They're for covering order flow. What is Bookmap showing us? Reading the order flow as objectively as possible. Okay, so and as I discuss that, you can see that the order flow kind of shifted and changed here. I'm kind of surprised that we see the continuation of the sell side here, because it looked really kind of back and forth in here, but sellers did come back in again below the swing here, and then a nice cluster here, but a nice cluster of buying in here too. Okay, so more sellers, but I'm kind of curious, looking for buyers yet again to trade back up to this kind of 18 or 19 or 20 level here. Okay, and I'd be looking for that right now. In fact, if they can get back up above here at 15.5. Let's look for buyers in here, looking for them to pull on the offer, and looking for the retest back up into 19, and then 20 we know is kind of a critical level here today. All right, so not seeing them yet. Let's see if we get them on this rotation. Yeah, looks good. All right, buyers, there you go. And still looking for 19 though. Okay, it's a nice cluster of buying here, so a little bit higher here. 19 would be good. And they've got these sellers on the hook down here. Okay, here we go again. Looking for it. We should get a nice move up to 19. Looking for it. That would be the primary scenario here. Okay, for example, on either of these moves, in here or in here, here's ways to consider it. Now, I would be taking some profit there. Okay, because I'm just looking for 19 or 20. Okay, and I would definitely be moving my stop up at this point. So let's go through it. Right. All right. So we were looking for this move to unfold here, and here's why. Well, we had the bigger picture, okay, and we're just looking for a pullback. Okay, we got down below around this swing here, 15. Right, and what do we have? We had some buyers in a cluster of buying in here, and then we're looking for the breakout here. We had one more pullback here. Okay, and so maybe you would consider like looking for this move here, looking for the buyers here, looking for our 19 level. They were pulling on the offer, except for these guys which traded. Yeah, you can consider putting your stop down below here. It's not very good risk reward on that one. Much better on this one here. Okay, you can put your stop down below the swing here, around 15 or so, 14 and a half. You'd probably be getting in somewhere around 16 and a half, and then you would be taking some of that profit up here around 19 or 20. All right, so there you go. There's some examples. So entry would be, look, this is not a trade recommendation. It's just considerations of trading order flow and going with the flow, right? When you have an edge, we have, whoops, we have our cluster. Whoops, whoa. Okay, we have our cluster here. Okay, we're coming back in here, right? And looking pretty good. We were looking for this earlier. So we're looking for up to, this was 20. We're looking just for 19. Okay. And this would just be a scalp, quick scalp, right? A stop would be down here. Okay. And your profit up here, right? So, and that's just leg one, partial profit. Okay. And then, you have to manage it accordingly. Move your stop up. Or at least I would be moving my stop up. It's just a consideration. Again, it's not a trade recommendation. But you've got the move here, and you're looking for the continuation. It should work now. If it doesn't, like, one of the considerations is move your stop up and get stopped out at break even. Look for the next one. Okay. There's many different ways to manage it. Another way to consider managing it is, let's suppose, for example, hold on. We can use a drawing tool here. Okay, let's suppose you got in here and you took profit up here. All right. All right, so we'll draw the same rectangle and make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so we can kind of mimic a break even plus one, right? You could place your stop down here overall. Let's say you took partial profit here, 19 and a half or so. All right, on one leg, half out. Okay, so second leg is you're still on. You can place your stop here, and overall you'd still be break even plus one basically. Okay, that's another consideration, and you'd still be in it, right? So you'd still be making some profit here. This gives it a chance to run. Okay, you're looking for this to move immediately though. All right, that's important. Even if you move this into break even, you'd probably still be in it on this pullback here, right? Somewhere around in here, 16, we said 16 and a half, this is 16 and 3/4. So you'd still be in it, even if you moved it to break even. Right now, again, let's just go through this. This is just order flow and reading the order flow and then managing a trade within the order flow. And it's just a consideration because there's many different ways to slice and dice your trade management as well as your trading style. All right. Okay, Guido, you're out. Sorry, you're having connection issues. How much icebergs and stop runs feature in your analysis? I love the stops in icebergs. I think this is a level of transparency that I'm still amazed by. I can't believe it that we can see this information. So now the way that I like to use it and the way we recommend it, any indicator, is it is not a signal. Order flow rules first. Okay, it is the king. These are just confluences. Okay, and it's insight. It's insight to retail trader behavior with the stops. And why is that? Because retail traders use stops as not for, well, they may be using it for entry, a buy or sell stop. However, most of the time it is used as a stop, a protective stop, a stop loss. okay, to say no mas, I'm out of the market, and take me out. All right, so we have that information here. And now I'm not looking at spikes, or I'm looking at the cumulative volume delta, and you can see these axes are not aligned. The blue is the iceberg, the red is the stops, and you can see the stops mounting here. Okay, nice little stop run here. Okay, this move here, right? And that's why we got likely why we got a big pullback here as well, because there's a lot of stops in here. So if this is people getting stopped out, it's not new buying, right? This is new buying up here. Okay, because we don't see a lot of stops. So we know that this is, they're not getting stopped out. Now the question is, will they get stopped out if we get the sellers coming in? Yes. So I'm looking for that another stop run here below this swing at 19. Okay, let's see if we get it, right? Because this is new buying. The point with the stops and icebergs and this kind of transparency here is if this is new buying coming in, well, their position is now a seller, right? Because that's how they're going to exit the market. They have to sell. Well, where are they going to be forced to or compelled to? It would be down here when they're getting, taking a loss. So we'd be looking for that, right? We'd be looking for them to be forced to exit here. Okay, so we didn't really get the stop run we're looking for. In fact, I thought we would. Right in here, maybe a bit lower, maybe back down to about 17 or so, or 18, and then a move back up. Okay, instead we're just seeing buying kind of hand over fist yet again. So looking for the continuation here. These new buyers are still in command. Okay, so let's see if they can continue here, back up to this swing, this liquidity at 26.5 and maybe 28. All right, there's our stop run to the upside here. Another one. All right, what about icebergs? Who uses icebergs? Okay, larger players. So the and we get that insight. We have this dynamic in context between the larger players using icebergs and smaller players using stops. Okay. Now on the iceberg side, don't really see too much happening here. There was just some selling ice in here, also here. But overall, I mean, there's still more sellers here on icebergs. So it's kind of interesting to see. It's nothing really big right now. And again, these are just, it's not a signal here, it's confluence. We know that within here, and this is what's really important. Here's why. Like, if we're looking at the order flow, we're looking at all of the players here. Here, we're looking at specific players. So specific players don't really, they contribute to the bigger picture, but they're not the whole picture. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, here's new buying coming right back in, looking for the move higher. Okay, 28, maybe 30 here. JK, what an iceberg is? Sure. It's a hidden order. Okay, in the order book, if we look in the order book here, okay, COB stands for current order book. And this is liquidity here. These are limit buy orders here. You're looking at the auction, right? And these are limit sell orders up here. Okay, the heat map is very clearly just showing you high liquidity here. Very high liquidity up at 30, 175 contracts. It's this red-orange color. The heat map scale is here. So we know what that is and what that represents. Right, and yellow's less, but you can see 110 or so. Guys, beautiful move up into 30 there. Okay, that was a pretty easy call. I thought pretty easy reads today. Yeah, it's just the order flow is kind of telling you, looking for the move to 30. Anyway, left off here with liquidity. Okay, so that's what you're looking at here in the order book. Now, there's larger players that if they show their hand in here, like up at 30, for example, this is likely a larger player. Our large lot tracker is showing that. See that little white line in there? In fact, here I can configure this. This little white line in here, right there. Okay, that's showing that a larger player is holding about, what, a quarter of the liquidity at this level here. Okay, so we know that. See how we know his hand, though. We know that he's here, right? So iceberg is not, it's like a limit order here, but it's resting in the order book. However, it's not seen. Okay, you cannot see it. It is hidden. It's liquidity that is unseen. Okay, it's an order type. You'll see, like here, we'll go through an example of what it looks like when iceberg is transacting. I guess right in here. We can take a look at that. Yeah, here's an iceberg here. Okay, so this is sellers. The red dots, aggressive sellers hitting the bid here. Okay, the bid is the green line here, best bid. Sellers hitting the bid here, quite a. It's not quite a bid. It's only 16, and the iceberg's not very big either. However, they traded into this iceberg here. It was resting here in the order book. Right, you can see a little bit of transaction here, and then these transactions here, these 11 or 13, I guess. So you see the iceberg indicator move up. So they're hitting into this, look at, there's only 7 here on the bid. Right, there's only 7. Well, 11 or 15 traded. Let's just zoom in here. 12 traded here, and they're unable to trade through this. They should have been able to trade through it, right? Should have been able to trade down to this level here. They didn't, because someone else is absorbing it here with a hidden order, and we captured that information here. Okay, we can show the icebergs on chart as well, and also give you information here on. You can go to our knowledge base. Let me show you, that should hold on a minute, also help you. Go to more, go to our knowledge base, and then go to add-ons here. Okay, you're in the user guide section right now. Go into the add-on section, and then we can look at stops and icebergs right here. Okay, what is it? This describes it all here. All right. So that's another resource for you to go check out. And here's our iceberg here of 11. All right. I know that's a review for a lot of people. Anyway, thanks for bearing with that. Let's see. Dove is sending something here. He saw something nice. Let's see, Dove, what you're looking at here. Move up here, stop run, it looks like. Stop hunt. Big volume. Yeah. Yeah, back to same kind of stuff we've been covering. Here's where the sellers came in. Here's the retest back to it. And then Dove was looking for shorting this in here, right in here. Okay, Dove probably has a stop up here somewhere, and then looking for probably take profit down here. Where did you take profit on that, Dove? 41.30, maybe below, maybe back down to your, I don't know, this is point of control, I guess. Okay. Yeah, sorry, McLoco. I know you guys are experts on this stuff. So I'm just getting kind of back in the saddle today, so just thought I'd cover in more detail some of these things. Guys, this is really turning into a nice move here. We are looking for just the move to, I was looking for just the move to 41.30 and then a pullback. I was looking for actually a deeper pullback in here because there's quite a bit of selling in here. And it did not pull back. It was very shallow. And you can look at this here now, and this is maybe a misread on my part for the pullback. I would be looking for a pullback a little deeper. However, now in hindsight, this is easier to read, and this is in line with what we typically kind of look at in the order flow. If there's strong buying, very strong buying, and this is strong buying, and it's consistent here, 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 and here, right? Typically, in general, the pullbacks on strong buying are shallow, okay, and it's not much selling, and this fits that category here, okay. So this, and you'd be looking on your for entries on pullbacks for your pullback traders. That's where you'd be looking for is like big volume here, like Dove was looking at, or maybe here you'd be looking for your pullback, okay, to here or here. You got this one, and that was it. And buyers came back in, and they're on the bid in here as well. I mean, this is really these are really easy reads, in my opinion. Easy day, first day back, and some very easy reads here. Right? It's really telling you, you've got them on the bid here, and you've got buyers, and they're pulling on the offer, looking for higher liquidity to transact. Okay, so all right. So now let's take a look here. Now look at the buying up here. Right, we're getting back up there and starting to find some buyers, but there wasn't a whole lot of buying up here. Look at the selling coming in here. Look at the depth of the pullback here. Okay, it's pretty deep. Right, now let's see if we get a lack of buyers up here. Okay, and so far we're getting some. Okay, looking for if we get some sellers here, right around here. 30, call it 36.5. Okay, well, you can see that didn't unfold. Okay, instead it was just buying. Now that's going to be a beautiful stop run to the upside back to 41.40. Okay, it's not that big of a stop run. Okay, so let's take a look here. All right. So let's see if we can get a pullback here to about 37.5. That's a lot of buying in here, but there's a stop run too. So let's see if we're just getting a pullback here, 37.5 or so. Okay, they may come back to 35. Okay, well, yeah, we got back to, we didn't get it back to 37 or 38 here. And they're still buying. Then they're on the bid here again. I don't like it. I mean, yeah, it should go to, we'd be looking for the upside move here. They're on the bid. We're getting buyers here. Yeah, still be looking for the move to the upside here. Okay, just doesn't have that. It doesn't have the same kind of feel as earlier. The reason I think is the stop run, and then this buying up here and this buying in here. It's just not as I don't know. It's not as highly probable. Okay, we're still looking though for it to continue. We found some sellers starting to come in here in some of these areas. Okay, but there's still just more buying here. So we got to go with the buyers. And we can look at our bigger picture. Okay, let's not forget the bigger picture here. We're still looking for this move up here. Okay, up in these wicks around what do we say, 41.56 on up to about 65 or so, maybe even higher. Maybe 85, maybe up in here 4,200. God, there's going to be a lot of stops here up here in this area. A lot of traders, and they're going to be tested. It looks like. We'll see. We'll see if maybe there's not enough buyers to take it up there. We're going to read the order flow when we get up in some of these areas, and we'll see. Yeah, tons of buy stops already. Yeah, the bears are getting kind of slaughtered. Well, let's take a look. What is the reading here we have on stops? Overall cumulative volume delta I see is 3,000 or so. I don't know. We've seen quite a bit more than that. All right, so yeah, it's still going higher here. Had to go with the order flow, and just was a little more cautious here. And they're still buying. Okay, so 41.50 would be the next level here. And we were talking about that 41.50, or even above it here. Okay, this is strong buying on that daily. Even the hourly in here is pretty strong. Okay, 15-minute chart. This is such a beautiful move here. Let's see here. Yeah, Gary, most important levels can be broken slightly to hit stops, but good enough to have confirmation. Again, like I think, look at your order flow, look at the structure, and let's just go through it. Look at the structure. I'll turn off this for the moment. Okay, created by best bid and offer. See, like the structure in here? Yeah, I mean it's kind of like it's still strong buying, but look how it's kind of moving here. It's kind of starting to grind. Right? We might get a huge breakout again, right up into 41.50 here. We'd be looking for those buyers to come in. Right, so anyway, we're looking at the structure here, and obviously the structure is a trend to the upside. All right, but yeah, and then we can see the breakout above here, and then now look at the retest back to this area here. Right, and then maybe it can go a little bit lower here, retest down here, but we're still bullish here, okay, based on the structure alone. And then we're looking at the volume within the structure. Okay, what is the volume telling us? Well, yeah, buyers. And then we were starting to note like the selling slowdown, and now we're starting to see some pretty strong selling coming in. Right, so we're kind of looking for a back and forth here. Okay, I'd be looking for a pull, or from this sell move here, pull back to about here. Okay, around 44 or so, 44.50, something like that. Right, so we're reading now within the structure. We're reading the aggressors. Right, and there's our move. All right, now are the sellers going to remain in control here from this move? That we need to take a look here. Maybe we'll get buyers back up above it here, and a nice move slingshot up into 41.50. Okay, that would be reading again structure and volume within the structure. And then thirdly, we got to look at the because this is only one side of the transactions, the aggressors. What about the other side? What about the auction? All right, that's where we get a lot from the heat map. Okay, the high liquidity is up here. Right? Did these guys stay in the order book here and fill and trade? Yep, here and here. Okay, and here. All right, so gives us some insight here to the where they want to buy, and they're down here right now at this kind of 41 3/4, and then below here. Okay, not a whole lot. Derek, you're looking for 42.50. Okay. Boy, that, or 41.50 did you mean, or 42.50? That's pretty far up. $42.50, okay, or 4,200. Yeah, it's pretty far up there. Yeah, I mean, look, if you want to look at order flow on the higher time frame, now we look at as a weekly target. Okay, the way we look at the order flow here is like on very small time frame in these webinars, so we can go through many examples, right, as we have already. But like I said and alluded to earlier, you can see it on the daily chart here, the same idea. This was we would assume that there'd be sellers up here. Well, there weren't. There were buyers. They broke through it, retested back to the top of it, and then continued. Okay, so when we saw this pattern on a lower time frame, right? So you can use the same ideas here. Look for buyers starting to come in on that daily chart right in around here. If you see a lot of buying in here, look for the move back up to the top of this range here to begin with. Maybe take some profits and then look for the next one up into here, or some of these wicks that we have not achieved yet. All right. So and then 4,200 up here. Yeah, it looks good. The question I have on the daily chart here is who's still in control, and it looks really back and forth in here from this chart. Yeah, I mean, in fact, these were some really strong selling weeks here or days here to the downside. So and look at the strong buying is here, countered by strong selling. Look at the kind of choppy here, back up into strong selling here, pulls back again. We would look for those moves, right? We would look for sellers to come in here again. We would look for buyers to come in down here again too. And then we would look for, again, sellers up here. This is where it broke, though, retested the top and then continued. Okay, all last week. Really strong week, as you guys can see. Yeah, now the question is up here, are the sellers still massively in this? Are they going to be moving or repositioning or adding more to their sell side here? Are they going to remain in control, or are they going to be upended by the buyers? Okay, so will the buyers be able to trade through this area here? Okay, around this 41.60 or so. Okay, that's what we're kind of looking for. And we're going to read the order flow, right? So yeah, in terms of a higher time frame order flow trade or opportunity here, a consideration would be just still hanging in it, just like Derek is saying. He's looking for a higher time frame to test. This is really where it's going to be key, though, and this is where the order flow can change on those daily or weekly charts. So we need to read it in here. right? Maybe it just slows down and chops in here. Once it starts to do that, and then you start to see some heavy selling coming in, well, then we'd be looking for a pretty big pullback, maybe to about here, 40, 4,020, something like that. And then it may continue on up and back up into some of those higher areas that Derek is looking for. But we just need to read the order flow, okay, even on these daily charts or higher time frames. All right, so let's see here. Any other questions? Yeah, great question here. I'm so bad about filtering for dot size. Yeah, I typically leave the I'll show you my volume dot settings. All right, so I leave it as smart clustering. Oh, typically I have it down to something like this on smart clustering, and then minimum displayed volume and minimum trade size. Let's go through these because these are really powerful filters. You don't need to look at all the volume if you don't want to, if you find it confusing. Some traders do. I've seen many professional traders that just, looking at bigger clusters and that's it, right? I'm looking at all of the volume in here primarily because I'm kind of used to it, but also there's a few reasons, but I'm demoing the software. I want to zoom in and I want to show this, and if I have it filtered, you're not going to be able to see the details here, right? So that's one of the reasons here. The other reason is I want to see that strong, consistent buying or selling to tell me in the order flow. If I have it filtered, I'm not going to get that. I want to see this kind of move here, like strong and consistent, or even better ones back. This was a stop run, but back in some of these areas in here, right? I want to look for that, and that's quite telling that we have strong and consistent buying and a price move at the same time. Okay, so it gives insight to the potential for the continuation. Minimum trade size. Okay, so let's go through that. Let's go through these two different ones in here. Minimum trade size is a very simple filter. This minimum displayed volume is more complex, so let's go through the details. If I put in minimum trade size and I put in 20, for example, I am only filtering here for trades that are for a volume of 20 or greater only, right? So you're looking at large trades. Now, what happens though, and that can be very insightful, as you guys can see, it's giving some pretty good information here. Look at the large trades up here. There's sell. Look at the selling coming. Now it's kind of bashing around in here. There's back and forth with buying and selling, but there's a lot of selling in here. All right, so maybe we're going to get more larger trades to the downside here then. So that's the kind of insight this can give here about larger players in here. Okay, so that's one way to take a look at it here. But the larger or the minimum trade size of 20 or greater here, in this day and age, at least for the last at least 20 years, that can be hidden algorithmically. So you don't get those block trades like you used to back in the day, because it's again showing their hand. So what a lot of larger players do is they break it up into smaller trades. So algorithmically they can trade 100 lot 100 times with one lots very quickly. and get that trade off, right, without showing large size. That's why when you look at your time and sales columns, you know, you can filter for larger trades in here as well. But look at all these one lots go through. You know, you're just going to see there's actually quite a well, there you go. Now you're starting to see smaller trades, right? And you'll see so many of these go through it. It makes time and sales very difficult to read. Sure, you can filter it here, and again look for larger trades, right? And that can give some insight here. However, it's again back to larger players can trade very quickly with smaller size. So how do you overcome that? Well, we came up with this way with minimum display volume. And what this will show here is, let's start to boost this up here. Okay, we'll look at like 1,000. Okay, and we don't get any results. Let's look at 500. Let's half that. Look at 250. Should get some results in here. Okay, so what we're looking at here is, and we'll zoom in and I'll show you how this works, but it's showing you a cluster within a time frame of 250 that traded very, very quickly. Right. In fact, I think I need to go to total volume here to show this. Yeah, that'll show it better. That's what the problem was. It was looking at delta. So here we're saying within a very small time frame, show me where 250 contracts traded very, very quickly. Okay, in fact, the time frame is so small that it's equal to 1 pixel. Because, you know, when we zoom in, you're looking at you know, nanoseconds or microseconds or milliseconds. You're just going to see you know, many trades very, very quickly. But when we compress the screen and it compresses all those trades, and this is where that condition is true. So 1 pixel is equal to at least 250 trades here. That's what this is telling us. So obviously when I zoom in, this is going to disappear because it's going to spread out. Okay, and once it spreads out, it disappears now because that condition is no longer true. All right, does that make sense? I know this is kind of a little confusing to understand, but it's just showing you very, very quickly how many trades traded within that 1 pixel. So now you can see it. So yeah, it's very helpful. A lot of traders use this setting here because they don't care about the block trades as much. They just want it. The block trades will show up as well because it's one trade that took place very, very quickly, right? So this will give you some insight here. Okay, and this is how you can start to filter for your maybe you're looking at higher time frame, right? So see how I zoom out and I see more now because I'm compressing the screen and zooming out. So there's going to be more here, so I can filter it yet again. Now we can look at 1,000. All right, and we'll only have one. If I zoom out more though, watch, we'll get more. Okay, so now you can look at since like 9 o'clock here or 8:30 or so, right? And you can kind of take a look at where that volume is transacting. Yeah, so and then you got many filters in here. So we're still using the smart clustering filter here as well. Maybe you don't want to use that, you go to none. Yeah, it made a difference. Okay, and there's another filtering here is with the delta. Okay, buy minus sell. So show me buy minus sell that meets that condition of 1,000. So you can see that really cleared it up here. So we need to, you know, really kind of lower this here for delta, right? Yeah. Guys, here's another, just look at this here. I mean, again, same pattern here. It's a double top now. Okay, now this is where this filtering can be really helpful, right? We were looking for the move up into 50. Okay, 45 was, we're looking for that first, of course, and then yeah, stop run here. We're looking for our pullback. That's right. This is kind of where we left off. Our pullback to maybe here or here at 40. Okay, it's already done that. It's already below 40, in fact. Right. So, but look here, buying here on the offer here, no buying here. Okay, with this filter. Now, it would be great to see some more selling in here, and we don't really see that. Okay, so it looks really kind of back and forth in here to me. Here's where the sellers took it a bit lower. And then here I'd be looking for a bounce off of this at 40. Okay, it didn't do it. It looks pretty good because you got high liquidity here. It's a nice level here. And I would be looking for the bounce. Well, here's where sellers just pushed it through that level, and they went one more level lower. Now, I'd still be watching this here at 40 and looking for buyers here. And here they come. Okay, and I'd be looking for them to now squeeze the sellers down below here. And let's see if we can get back up into this liquidity here at 42.5 or so. Right, here's some selling here. Still, I'm looking for the squeeze though. I'm looking for buyers, and let's see if we can squeeze these guys. Okay, so back to 40, and this is our kind of pivot line here at 40. Okay, we're going to get above it or below it. Are the sellers going to try to remain in control down here, or are they going to get squeezed by the buyers here? Okay, look at the icebergs. So we know that they're on the bid here. Yeah, McLoco, we're just super feature rich here in Bookmap. We've got so many things. These tools here were available very early on, back in like 2016 or so. Right. So yeah, play around with the settings, guys. Like go to the knowledge base. There's some videos on this as well on YouTube, and take a look. You know, maybe you'll get some insight from these. Okay. Now you can see my zoom. It's based on zoom level here. This minimum display volume. So I need to kind of lower this here for this zoom level. All right, so here's the fuel right here. If we can get buyers now and they're above it, just looking for our buyers here, and we should get a stop run. Okay, and this is where I like to see the buyers. So this doesn't really work for me, right? I want to see the buyers in here to confirm that. So this is why I prefer looking at this view, okay, with some of the smart clustering, just a little bit. Right, so it's up to you guys. So there's our move. Okay, that's what we're looking for. 43 looks good. Look at them flip on the bid here, looking for the squeeze. We're already got a stop run here. Okay, now are these guys going to stay in the book here though? Yeah, it looks like it. They're staying. They're trading. Okay, that's an interesting interesting trade there. Okay, and then again back to the 40 level, bouncing off of it here. Now, question here, some pretty strong selling into this liquidity and through it. Okay, so we're looking for, again, buyers back up above here at 42, or are we looking for sellers to try to push it through 40 here and take control of the market back down to 38 and back down into these levels here? Okay, 35. Well, there's our answer. Okay. Yeah, that was a tougher read. But we did have this insight here, and sellers through it. Okay, they pulled down here and then added here. No, this is a tough read. All right, volume profile, guys. You're looking at this profile here, and it's just trading around it, back and forth. Great questions, though, guys. So keep them coming, because, like I said, there's so many things in here in Bookmap we developed years ago. There's so much to cover, and many different ways to look at it. Look at the market here. Okay, lots of selling coming in right now. Okay, looking for 30, a move down. Here's your low volume node here. Okay, but the liquidity is a little bit lower. You got 30, you got 27. So I want to see sellers try to reach that before we get buyers in here. We have our European close coming up in about 10 minutes. Okay, Derek. Yeah, nice to meet you as well. Yeah, keep it coming, guys. It's gold. Any crypto information? I don't have. You know what? Actually, did a webinar actually before I left in vacation. And well, I do have Bitcoin up here, but it's the futures. Okay, from the CME. I can add anything though you you want to take a look at. No, we're looking at this is the S&P E-mini here that we're looking at. Okay, so yeah, here we go down to 30. Okay, our 30 level, right? We're just talking about that. That's 27 and 30. That's where the liquidity is. And is this going to be, look, we came back up, we tested these areas, we never got to 50. All right, but we knew this was strong buying coming in here, and now we're kind of just retesting back into these areas here. Okay, and there's strong selling here. So I'm looking for them to reach and try to extend and trade into this liquidity here. And they did here at 30. Or did they? Did they just come shy of it? Yeah, one tick shy. So they never traded into 30 yet. So still looking for it. 30, 27, or down to what, 28 and 3/4 or so. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we traded back down to there, and just looking for a pullback here, maybe to 33. Okay, or are we going to just see like the pullback, a slight pullback here to just to here, and then sellers still in control? And what we'd be looking for here is more of a mean reversion trade back down into, maybe 17, maybe into 22, looking at the profile here. And let's look at our levels now. So we're looking at profile, but we're also looking at this level here, which kind of matches nicely with the profile. This is where that buying came in. All right, so again, we're kind of many ways to slice and dice it and look at it. It's, again, all it comes down to is these three elements here, understanding the context between them in the order flow. It doesn't matter if you're looking at volume profile. It doesn't matter if you're looking at trend lines. Okay, it's bouncing off a trend line now. Right, it's in an uptrend. Okay, we made a higher high, higher lows. Okay, so let's see. We're finding some reaction off of that. Okay, so this can match up. This can match up actually beautifully with all three of these methods in here. You've got your profile. Okay, it traded, we're looking for the move into this high liquidity here. It did it. We've got a trend line, and now we're getting our buyers on a pullback. Okay, well, we're looking for a deeper pullback here. Maybe they can move it back to above 36 here, maybe back up into yeah, somewhere around here, like 38.5 or so. Okay, and we have our reasons here. Technically, we have our reasons, but this is one of the big picture ideas I'm trying to get across here is to understand profile, or profile, or looking at trend lines, but understanding the order flow, because understanding the order flow in it is what's going to give you the insight. Right? You have the trend line, so what? Okay, well, what's the order flow around that trend line? Well, we know they got filled here. Okay, we also know that the liquidity was up in these areas here. So yeah, and the swing is here as well. Right, and you can look at your profile. Well, here's the high volume node up here, okay, just below 40. And we put a line in here at our 4140 area. Okay, so these things start to align here, but look at the order flow within it. No matter what it is, look at the order flow within it. So here come buyers. All right, so still looking for 37.38 just for now. Okay, not looking for this really big move right now. Okay, I don't see it in here. It may develop into that and may come up and trade to 50. Okay, but we don't see that right now. Okay, beautiful stop runs here and here. This is especially a good one here. Okay, so there was a lot of people short in here and they just got stopped out. I do have, did I have gold? No, I don't have gold up here. I'm not even sure what contract we're on with gold. Are we on September? The gold trade's weird. Let's take a look. All right, guys. So we're now you can see this is starting to develop into that bigger move here, but we didn't know that down here. Okay, look at the buying starting to come in, right? And we were looking for a test maybe to about here, kind of 38.5, right? This is where the sellers dropped it below this swing here. All right, so let's see here with gold. Here's my high-tech way of knowing which contract it is. Okay, did a search here for CME volume GC. Even though it trades on COMEX, it doesn't matter. All right, and then look in here. Look at your volume. We're in volume open interest tab. August. December. That's on the Globex. Okay, total volume. All right, so we're on the December contract, right? Yeah, gold is kind of odd in that sense. Let me get rid of this one. Yeah, I agree, Derek. For your higher time frame here, this has potential for a massive breakout. Absolutely, absolutely. This is, you're looking at the higher time frame, and look at this now. Look at the order flow just zoomed out. This is looking pretty good, right? This is, we didn't know about it in here, but now this is starting to develop into that. Okay, well, how do you manage your risk in something like this, right? You know, I don't know, like the higher time frame, you'd be getting in somewhere around in here, and you'd be looking for the move up to 50. Okay, but you got a higher time frame, you're going to be moving your stops out, okay, bigger, most likely. That's what I would at least be looking at it that way. So maybe our stop was down here, right? Or you know, you can also slice and dice it. You know, you saw this move in here, you're just looking for the move back up into, you know, some of these areas here. Take some off. Now you can rest easy, and yeah, you'll still take a loss here, but you've already reduced some risk. It really, you know, it's up to you guys, like on your trade management. Like maybe that's really bad advice. Like it just, you're all in, all out. Maybe you don't scale on your higher time frame. You have found that you have better performance. That's the key though. You have found that you get better performance if you're all in and all out on higher time frames, right? Or maybe you find that, yeah, it's better to reduce some risk, and then I'm looking for the higher time frame move and just let it run. Okay, so up to you guys, but this is looking really good, and I totally agree with you, Derek. That bounce off of this line here is playing out really nicely. It's also aligning here with a volume profile. Okay, and we were looking for that move to trade into this liquidity here. Okay, so we're back to looking at 50 again up here. Okay, after all of this. Oh, okay, so you're looking at hourly cycles for your stops. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. And again, on this time frame here, we're still in an uptrend. Even though we saw a lot of selling, you know, could have come back down to here and still be in an uptrend. Or, you know, here. And it's pretty strong. I mean, this is a deep pullback here, but this is a little more shallow. And we're finding buyers. So looking for continuation. We're just at the European close here. Yeah, Think Trader. Okay, so this is where to go. You're looking for computer specs, no problem. This is where to go. Go to the bookmap.com here. The more button, go to the knowledge base. Okay, the knowledge base is really the hub for questions and support. Once you're in the knowledge base here, you're going to land into the user guide section. All right, so in the user guide section here, look for underneath here, Bookmap system requirements under introduction to Bookmap. Right now we've kind of detailed this out here because we've got a lot of questions about it. You have Bookmap for Windows here, so read through this. It won't take you long, but Bookmap for Windows minimum here. Okay, and then here's recommended, and then we also have for heavy use using MBO high resolution full depth data. This is for no MBO data here. All right, so these are your three different specs, and read through it. And then we also have it down here for Mac. Okay, and that should be helpful. Yep, you're welcome. Okay, Derek. Yeah, your internals, you're looking still for higher time frame move. Yeah, it's starting to kind of wane up here, as you can see. Like we were looking for this actually earlier. When it starts to kind of wane, the buying starts to wane up here, and you start to see sellers on the other side. You're looking for that pullback. There was some buying up here. It's not bad, but the selling, you're going to see your CBD starting to kind of change a little bit. You don't need to look at CBD. You can just look at the volume dots here. And start to understand it. But you know, if you're not getting a lot of buyers at the high, you're going to get a pullback most likely. Wow, okay, you have an i9 and 129 gigs of RAM, it looks like. Wow. Steven. All right, and let's take a look at this structure here as well. Okay, it broke out from the swing here, but it's still making a higher high here. But it just mildly got above it here, just a few points, and then it pulled back pretty hard. Right, so starting to kind of slow down a little bit. In here is looking really good. Really starting to, you can see these buyers coming in here. Okay, so starting to kind of slow down a little bit. See the seller coming in. Now the sellers are going to try to move it the other way. Okay, back down to this level here. Looks like 36, and we'll see. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up here and call it a day. Tom B is just starting now, so you can this webinar will redirect you right over to Tom B's, and he's a volume profile trader. So he's got tons of experience, and he's looking at just the S&P. Okay, we'll look at anything in here. In fact, I forgot to look at gold. Not seeing much out of gold. You can see it traded down to this 81 level here and bounced. Right, so I don't have a lot of data in here in gold, but you look at it. It's kind of a mess. So not seeing too much out of gold. Crypto. Sorry, guys. I'll go over that really quickly here. Let's look at Binance futures. We'll look at Bitcoin. Okay. Yeah, some easy. The market was kind of easy read, I think, this morning on some of those moves, Jay. So it was nice that they had the kid gloves on for me after back from taking a bit of time off. So anyway, it stays like that only for a little bit. Again, but we've done it a million times. Read the order flow. If the order flow does not look that convincing in that structure that you're trading, well, it's telling you something, right? It's telling you something. So it's not high probability, or it is high probability, and that is where you're going to get the insight. All right, guys. Yeah, thanks for coming, everybody, and we will catch up tomorrow with you. Yep, you guys. Thank you. Oh, looks like Doug, you got some excellent leading indicators on Hero, ES, and SPY. Excellent, great stuff, Doug. All right, guys. Yeah, we'll catch up with you tomorrow, and check out Tom B's starting. It's already started. I'm sure he's already streaming. Okay. Yeah. Take care. Bye bye.